Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to today's show. Uh, all right. Hello, everybody. Welcome and welcome. Terry, looks like you and I are holding it down today. Deborah, welcome. Tell everybody hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? Hope everyone's day is great.
And we're going to jump right in and get started. So, two of our topics of discussion. Javonna, hello, hello. Oh, you got some background noise going on. I don't know what she has going on. Yeah. So today, two topics of discussion. One is a dating timeline. Ladies want to know, do men have a dating timeline like some women do? Do we say to ourselves, "Oh, I'm only going to date you for 6 months or a year or 2 years before something happens? Or do we just let it, go with the flow, whatever? Terry, we're going to start with you jumping in. And do you have a dating timeline? And what is that like for you?
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's me, Terry, aka Boy Unique. A dating timeline for men? No, there's no such thing as a dating timeline for men. I would tell any woman when she's ready, he's ready. So, just depends with the man as if the relationship, the dating process is going well, he'll continue the dating process. But if it's not going well, then, men normally check out. So no, there's no timeline on it. We're ready to get to it as quick as possible, find out as much about you as possible, and then, move on from there. That's my opinion. Now, if there's anybody else that know anything different, I'd love to hear a response or a reply from them as well. What you got, Cole?
Any follow up to that, Deborah? How do you feel?
I agree with that. I think women do let me word this correctly so I don't become public enemy number one. But women, don't always set that. It may seem like it, you guys, but women don't always set that boundary, which is why we a lot of times end up in situations way longer past the expiration point. Let's just say that. So I believe what Terry said, like there shouldn't really be a timeline. Like I feel like you should let things naturally progress. And as they progress, just remember to communicate and check in on where you are and if you guys are still on the same page and, go take it from there. But, and if it's not working out, know when to exit kindly.
So I have a question, Terry. If there is no timeline, when do men decide to propose or to advance from the dating stage?
Uh, when men are more secure in that relationship, I might not be using the right word and using more secure, but when men are more comfortable with the woman, knowing that relationship is steadily progressing and like building, if that's what their focus is at that time, if they're steadily progressing in that relationship, then men normally go ahead and you there?
So I think time, yeah, we can hear you now.
I had a call come in. Yeah, when men normally feel that relationship is progressing, they normally go ahead and I say men. Now we say men. I'm not saying men as in age being 40 years old and acting like you're 20. I say men, more mature men who understand what life is and progressing, then they're ready to go ahead and submit to that relationship and move forward. So no, it's not about a timeline or you know they want to make sure that woman's right for them. and whatever situation they're looking for. That's my opinion. What you
Okay.
think about?
I agree. I think that I've never been in a situation where I had a timeline to say, hey, we've been dating for this long, something has to happen, right? And just never thought about it. Like you said, if everything's going well the way it is, then why change it? But in the past, it seemed like, women wanted to be married. Cause, like my first son, his mom and I started dating when we were in high school. So we were together for 7 years, right? And never thought anything of it. But, sometimes people are like family members. So when are y'all going to get married? They didn't start that initially because we were young. We were in high school, went off to college. So they knew, okay, once they get done with school and get themselves established, you'll start looking at marriage. But
Right.
when I got older, the other relationships, women would say things like, I'm not trying to waste my time. I'm not trying to do this forever. That was the thing that I remember hearing is I'm not trying to do this forever.
Or they would tell you, "Oh, I'm looking to be married by the time I'm 30 years old."
Yeah, yeah, that was a hot age. I'm trying to be married by 30. And so now it's like, is this someone that I can see myself marrying? But yeah, I never, I don't know if some men may have a timeline, that could exist to some. And I wonder, so ladies, have you ever experienced, and Deborah's laughing,
I
ladies,
did. I did. Only
and welcome
because for
Talisha.
me, only for me because I've never thought like that. Like I've never been one to think like, oh, I gotta be married by a certain age and all of this. Like, did I have those family members who ask those questions? Yes. But I always, let them know if that's what you're looking for, maybe that's what you should be doing because I don't aspire to marriage. It's not something that I feel like I need to do in my lifetime. But if it just so happens that the person that I'm with, we both decide that's the road we want to take, then that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with some common law stuff. So there's no timeline in it for me other than to know, are we locked in? Like, are we doing this together? We on the same path together? And if we are, then that's why I say again, let's check in periodically to make sure we're still on the same page and keep it pushing.
Hmm. Let's. So I got another question. And again, everyone, when you log in, if you're on the page listening, you can see where you can join or be a subscriber. And these people, they send questions in for us, for the guys to discuss. The next topic, Terry, is going to be financial responsibilities. Should a spouse, should a spouse communicate? And they said, or SO, significant other, communicate when spending money on outside children. You can go deeper. You can go deeper about, like what, of course, our belief is what works in my house.
Right, right. So I maybe every relationship is different. What works for one house doesn't work for another house,
Hmm.
but a lot of communication needs to be had. Like starting a relationship at our age, 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, someone has a child, prior to, a particular relationship. So, conversations need to be had about, you know, my money is my money and his money is our money, that those type of communications, like, do we have a joint bank account? All right. Do you take 50% of your money, put it in the checking account? That's our checking account. I'll take 50% of my money, my check, and we'll put it into our account, and we'll pay the bills from there. So what you have left over and what I have left over, those are mine. Those are all kind of different types of conversations that need to be had. But when having those conversations, you know, like me having, and for my example, for myself, me having children prior to my current relationship, do I make my children a responsibility for her? If she wants to indulge in that, you know, I'll let her know what's happening. If she wants to indulge or participate in that, of course I'll let her participate in that, you know, because she has a bond with the children as well. So if she wants to participate, then you know, no problem. If she doesn't want to participate, then I am dad. So, you know, it's ultimately my responsibility to, you know, make sure, you know, my children up to a certain age are taken care of. So they could go any way. But for me personally, my wife indulges. She does indulge in, you know, responsibilities for the kids. So yeah, I do let her know what's going on. Well, you know, my son Junior, you know, my daughter Kiki or my daughter Nay, you know, they have a situation going on. What do you think? You know, like I said, if she wants to indulge, she does. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I still got to take care of that. So either which way, she knows what I'm doing. So yeah, those conversations need to be had with, you know, other children. But if I'm paying, this is back to another subject, but if I'm paying 100% of all the bills in the house and my children prior to our relationship is not taken care of because I'm taking care of you and yours in our house, in our home, and I'm not able to provide for my older kids, that would make me feel some type of way. So, yeah, there's a whole lot of conversations that need to be had, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right, right, right. I agree. I agree with what you said.
I do too.
Yeah, I too had kids. You know, my oldest son is 29. So when I met my wife, I told her about all of my obligations. I have two older kids, and you know, like, hey, this is the situation. This is what I have going on. And like you said, when you talk about how you want to do your finances, and you know, every house is different. So I was thankful, honestly thankful, because, you know, I've always felt like, okay, a man should take care of like the major financial responsibilities of a home. If you have a mortgage, car payments, major things. So anything minor that the kids needed, my wife would do, you know, and she created a relationship with them where they actually felt comfortable asking her things without coming to me. So, and when I say minor, like primary, in my opinion, as a parent, it's like, okay, I know dad has back to school clothes, Christmas, spring gear, you know, shorts for spring and the summer, little sneakers. But minor things, in my opinion, is like, you know, kids want to go to the movies every couple of months. You know what I'm saying? Some event or something. I think $50 and less, I consider a minor expense. And she would take care of that. And I don't think I ever like did something over that amount without discussing. And I think that's something that, you know, you should communicate to in relationships. You can set a dollar value to say, hey, anything that you spend, you know, anytime you use more than $50, $100, whatever, it should be discussed as a family, you know. But now, like my 19, 18-year-old, even 19 in September, you know, a cash app request for Uber, or if he wants to grab a bite to eat, something like that. I don't, it could probably get annoying. I would say annoying, but a little redundant to just keep saying, hey, I had to give my son $30. Oh, I just gave my son $20. I sent my son $15. So I think anything over a certain threshold is fair as far as, hey, I had to do this, or he needed help with his insurance, or oldest son wanted some money for rent.
Right,
Um,
right, right. And I
yeah,
think I'm in the same situation where, you know, like my son, at the time he was in high school, he would go to my wife, not even call me, not text me, no kind of communication with me. He would go to the wife and be like, "Hey, Ma, you think you can send me $25? I need to be able to put some gas in my truck, or I just want to get something to eat." Mind you, he's in school, he's in high school, so he's not working a full-time job. He doesn't have a whole lot of money. And, and like I said, she would indulge. So that was a good thing. She would tell me afterwards, but, it's like, oh, okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that means a lot.
Right.
That
Right.
means a lot when that person steps up and helps you out in that situation.
And I think, I think it's, to have someone that truly understands that there are, there are levels to it, but to like really have someone who truly understands like this is my child, this is my responsibility, and these are, some of these things are things that just have to be done. You know what I'm saying? That that helps a lot because I was in a situation, where I was the main breadwinner, and I have one child where he had four, and I set a boundary with it only because, like, I'm not out here making millions. You know what I'm saying? So I told him I will pay the amount of, what you are supposed to send her every month. But outside of that, like any other leisurely thing, I can't take care of that, But again, I set that boundary because that's what my salary allowed me to do, but we didn't always see eye to eye on that either because, when they would call wanting $50 for a game and $120 for a hairdo, he wanted to be able to send them that money, but you're not making that money. And I don't, I'm already holding everything down. So there's no way that I can really make all those extra things happen. And so I think that has to be something that is understood, on whichever party that, there's certain things that can be done and there's certain things that, yes, we have to discuss when it comes to doing, the major stuff, whatever have you. The smaller stuff can be compromised on.
So you kind of agree with that, like a financial threshold. Hey, anything over $100 or anything over this, or do you say, hey, we'll take care of this. We got back to school. We got Christmas. We got summer, whatever.
Yeah, if we're both making, making the money and doing what needs to be done and it's there and we can do it, by all means, let's do it. I don't have any problems with that. Let's do it. Let's make it happen for the kids and let that be that. But I think, again, that's contingent upon what the situation is, because if you're making all the money and I'm not making any yet, I have these responsibilities outside of our household for other children, right? Then, then that puts an extra strain on what your responsibilities are. And though, we technically a family, if my children don't live in this household, then that's money that is also leaving this household.
Mm. So that's
So I
something to
think
think about.
that's where the communication is going to be overly important.
And I never thought about it that way until now. I think just subconsciously out of respect, it's like, okay, if it's this amount, this is what we do. If not, this is what we're going to do. And again, the whole premise of the show is whatever the topic is, we bring it back to the importance of effective communication. So do you all agree
Right.
that these are some things that should be communicated?
Most
Uh,
definitely.
Most
yeah,
definitely. Most definitely.
Most definitely.
because that would be kind of devastating to find out, hey, I spent $3,000 on my daughter, aside, because now it's like, wait a minute, did you pay mom's rent, or you know what I'm saying? Did you do something
Right.
for your ex? So I agree with that.
Right.
Again, welcome. We have a lot of guests that came in. Nakia, welcome. Pope, TC, welcome. Janice, Natalie, Murdoch, welcome. I don't know if you're joining us a little late. We just talked about the importance of communicating, fiscal responsibilities and expectations in a relationship. And in our age, we're all 40 plus, and we're just thinking that if you get into relationships now, chances are one of you or both of you will have a child or children. So how do you determine, what do you do? Is there a dollar amount? Is there a threshold to say, hey, anything over $50 that's sent directly to my child, it should be discussed in the house? Terry had a good scenario where he's like, look, 50% of our income goes into this household account. And, whatever I have left, I do X, Y, Z. But if I do something over a certain dollar amount with my portion of my money, I still mention it to you. And I want to segue into the next question. If you all, I put it in the chat, and this was something that we kind of talked about behind the scenes. The next question, this young lady wants to know, why is it hard for some men to accept rejection in the verbal form of a no from a female, that they're pursuing? Why is it hard for some men to accept rejection from a female that they're pursuing? And also, how can parents emotionally develop their male child to be able to accept rejection? Like a no, I'm not interested, without feeling inadequate, or, guys having to retaliate and cuss women out. So Terry, I'm gonna let you have at it first.
Oh man, Cole, I don't know if I can answer that one. That's a lot. But
Have at it.
yeah. But me personally, I don't know. I guess during the time I was dating, seeking, meeting different women, I I don't know. Maybe people think, I don't know, that, wow, I'm kind of flabbergasted at the question. Men, I don't think men have a hard time with rejection. Some men just believe, I don't know, some women may kind of be out of their league, or women might think she might be better than him or something. I don't think anybody has a problem with rejection, not a man. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
no,
I would,
no,
I would,
man.
I would hope that every man, especially at a man our age, has heard the word no a million times throughout their lifetime. So the word no should never be a reason for a man to, I don't know,
Overreact.
curse a woman out, overreact. Yeah, all that dumbness carrying on.
Who,
I,
who,
I guess,
no don't mean no all the time, though.
right, but
They want
but
you to be in
son,
pursuit most of the
hey,
time.
but no. When a woman says no, you got to kind of go with that. You can't
Yeah.
try to interpret that no. If they say
Sometimes
no,
no
then they
means
say
not
no.
right now.
Right.
Hey,
That's what I mean.
hey, if it means no, not right now, then she has to tell you that. Because if you're with a woman and then you're trying to get a little something going on, and she changes her mind and she says no, and you keep going, now you're in trouble.
Oh yeah.
So you can't reinterpretate the word no. No means no. It only
True,
has
right?
one meaning.
And you
It
can't
only
assume
has
either.
one.
Yeah.
You can't assume. It only has one
Yeah.
meaning.
And
So
I
you
think,
have to wait until she decides to say, well, I didn't mean no. I meant, not right now. So you got to let her do that. Don't try
and
to take it upon yourself.
Hey, you know what I do? I tell them like this right here. I tell a female straight up, you want it, you take my pants off, cause I'm not doing it.
If you want it, you're
That's,
going to ask for it.
yeah. You know
so
about
I
the
think
pants? That's no, yeah.
we, we, we went we went a little far. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, wait, fellas. So honestly, the whole teaching our boys how to deal with rejection thing, I think women tend to overly make that a male female thing, because women suffer from the same issue. You tell a woman no, you reject a woman, the first thing they're gonna say is you gay or something like that. So they deal with the same problems that we deal with. So it's not a male versus female thing. It's just an individual thing. Some people just do better with rejection than others. So
Mm.
honestly, I don't like when they try to make that a whole male versus female thing, because it's not that. We all see We all seen a woman who just extremely really start saying that because of the fact that you don't like girls. Wow, I just don't like you.
I agree.
Great. That's an excellent point as well.
It is.
And
I
I
agree
think
as
that,
well.
yeah, I think we went a little beyond her intent, and it's like the approach. Because when you talk about rejection in the verbal form, and she said no or I'm not interested, sometimes it's like, hey, what's up with your friend? Or hey, how you doing? And I'm thinking back to our teenage years. It's different for kids now, but I'm sure, Terry, you can remember back in the days where you got dropped
When we
off
was
to the
younger,
mall.
at the mall.
Yeah, on Saturday. You get about $3 in quarters. You go to the mall, hang out at the game room, and you see the young ladies walking through. If they're with the grandma, you kind of gauge them out to see if the parents look mean, or if they're with a cool auntie, or just a group of girls. You kind of roll in and one person talks to that one, and that's what we did, right?
That's what we did, right?
Me being a math brain, I would always apply like, yo, I was like, I'm at least a 10% dude. So if I try to holler at 10 girls, all I got to get is one. And I did my job. So if I holler at 10 girls in this mall and I get one number, I'm good. So I went in expecting to be rejected 90% of the time,
Right.
9 out of 10. But again, that's not typical. And some guys might not say that to their kids. I used to tell my son and my nephews that all the time. They would laugh, and my nephews would be like, "Nah, I'll get at least 5." But they were still expecting rejection. You can't have all. So it is a great question, but James, you made a great, great point, and that's where women experience that as well. And how do you feel about that, Deborah? How do women respond to rejection or being told no?
I would definitely say it depends on their maturity level because, I have some friends and I happen to be one of those few who will, I'll approach a guy. I've been rejected before. I feel like that builds character in a way. So, and it teaches you how to take rejection as a woman. But I have some friends who'll be like, I would never, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't ever want to be rejected. I want to be the one doing the rejecting. And I don't get that in the least. I don't even understand that concept. But I mean,
That's that's another
it's,
reason why the balance is off. But go ahead.
yeah. I mean, it is. It is because I feel like I'm one of those type of people though. If I see something that I want, I'm gonna go get it. I'm not going to sit around and always wait for it to come to me, though I understand that power as well. Sometimes if you don't ask, you don't get. So, that's something I believe in learning how to take rejection as well as being able to say no. Like I've been in situations and this is with grown men. This is not when I was a teenager where, I've said no, no, thank you. And it doesn't just end there because, you know, the maturity level is not where it needs to be. So, there's the question of, oh, I could be your side dude or, you know what I'm saying? Oh, what do you get? Or we women, we get that same question. Like we get the same type of, interactions back from a man a lot of times when there is rejection. And I just chalk it up to how mature you just might or might not be.
Hmm. But
I,
it
wa-
is
I
something, a conversation. Go ahead, Terry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say I met my high school sweetheart like that. We were at a basketball game. I never knew she existed, but she saw me. She approached me. She sat down and had a conversation with me. I enjoyed the conversation. I didn't ask for her phone number or anything. But guess what? Basketball game was over that night. Went to school the next morning. Guess who called me the next day? My high school sweetheart.
Hmm.
She put in the effort, and that became a relationship. That became a long-term relationship. That's just an example.
Yeah, you
So,
can't always sit back and just wait for things to happen. Sometimes you have to take life by the horns and go get what you want. And sometimes you may see what you want before what you want sees you. So, just like you said, I didn't even see her. She seen me. She came to me. But that comes with confidence and maturity and just knowing, like, it's really a confidence thing. You know what I'm saying? If I'm confident enough to walk up to this man and have a conversation with this man and approach this man and not really have any expectations, but, know that I'm attracted or I like what I see, that's enough for me to at least be confident enough to get there, to go there. And whatever happens after that, that's left up to the universe.
Now I have something that and guys, maybe you've never experienced this before. This was something that I had to kind of learn to deal with, right? Harry and guys, tell me if you've ever experienced this before, Unique or James, being rejected by, how can I describe a person? A woman or a girl, I wouldn't say a woman, but because this happened when I was younger, but being
Let's say
rejected by
female.
someone, yeah, a female that has been around the way. Oh, yeah.
I've had
The-
both sides of the spectrum when it comes to that. I've had woman thou art loose type.
Yeah. But then you
And
reject me.
and you were, yeah, why I ain't good enough. But then I've also had the ones where you loose with everybody else. How you want to be your girlfriend now when I come into the picture? I know, be that person again. So I had both ends of the spectrum there when both of the times I'm like, hey, hold up, what's wrong with me?
She just found
Right.
Jesus right before she met you.
I
It
agree.
wasn't you.
Yeah.
She was ending her phase for no language, fellas language. So she ended that phase. Yeah. I remember being younger, right? And, after school, man, it was like track practice. And all the guys would talk about these girls that ran track and, yo, man, if you hang out after school, these girls will let you take them behind the bleachers or do this, X, Y, Z. You're young and I want to see what's going on. So now I'm hanging around at track practice, but, they weren't feeling me like that. So, back then I was upset. Like, how the heck you out here laying on this darn track mat under a bleacher in 90-degree weather with everybody sweaty and smelly. And then when I come through, like James said, now I got to call you. I got to go out with you and all this foolishness. So that was funny. And I had to learn to deal with rejection, I guess, or being told no, as funny as it was, even now, but then you can't always go by things that you hear because you probably heard that the person was loose and they weren't.
Right.
So
I
that's
know.
something too.
I know. I try to educate my son. I told my son, man, like just trying to pay it forward for the next generation. Obviously, I start with my son. I start with my nephews and my younger cousins. Man, like you got to be able to expect rejection, but there are so many different young women out there. Just because one says no, don't stop there. You get a bite. As long as you throw that hook out there, you'll get a bite. So
Right,
don't get
right, right.
don't get hooked up on one female. Now, Coach Sean, you and I both know. We've had schoolmates, classmates. A couple of them
Mm-hmm.
actually commit suicide behind women that they were with.
Right.
Not to call any names, but I always said to myself, I would not allow that to be my son. So from a young age, I always told them like there's not just one woman out there for you or one relationship for you. If one ends, there's another one and it's probably a better one. So don't hold on to it. And so just recently he just ended a relationship and he's good. He's floating right on. He's not heard about it. And he's out there looking again, but I told him like, you're about to go off to school, so I don't think you want to indulge in too much of a relationship right now. He's like, nah, because I got one coming to the school that I already met. So, yeah.
And he's about to graduate, right?
He already graduated. He already graduated high school. We going to college.
Okay. Oh yeah, he's going to college, man.
2 weeks.
Yeah, he's
And
going to college. So don't even think about
he's going to
relationship.
college. So yeah, he's, and he's a football. Right, right. He's a football star. So
And he's a football player.
I'm
Yeah.
coming after you, man. So never indulge in one. Right, right.
And just
Never
be
get too
honest.
caught up with one. If she
Right.
doesn't
But
want
be
you there,
honest. Let her go and don't try to be a player.
right.
Just be honest with what he's doing and hey, this is what it is.
He always said that. He said, I want to be like you, Daddy. I want to be in one relationship. That's fine, son. However it works for you, you go ahead and do it that way. All right. But don't be around here, you know what I'm saying, crying, boo-hooing, going into depression because, she decided she didn't want to be with you. Now, find you another one. Probably be a better one.
Right,
So,
right. Oh, I'm getting called. We want to have some people that were here with us from last week and the guests. So for those of you that weren't with us on last week, a great point was brought up where we were talking about communicating love languages. So James Shaw is here. Of course, Deborah's here from last week, and all of our listeners. We have a few people in. We talked about the importance of communicating love languages and how do you give love is typically the same method that you receive love, right? So if you feel like spending time, your time is very valuable, if that's the way you show and demonstrate love, a lot of times you feel like a person spending time with you shows that they love you. And the thing about gifts that I learned over time was these gifts don't have the value that's listed on the price tag. Because if I work hard, I had to work all week to buy something. It doesn't have the same value as me owning a business and I made thousands 1 week and I spent 500 on you. That's nothing. Or if someone was selling drugs and spent 500, it doesn't have the same value of a person working all week to make $800 or $900 and they spend 500 of that on you, you know. And we talked about how those love languages can change due to life events. You know, you lose a loved one, then you value time more. Certain things it changes. So just getting you all caught up on the things that we discussed on last week. And while you're here, James, I would like to know, Shar, have you all taken a love language test and do you know your love languages?
Yes, I have. I took the love language exam probably about 2 years ago, and then I did it about 6 months ago again with my current girlfriend. And ironically, it changed between 2 years ago and 6 months ago.
Hmm. What are do you remember what your top two are?
Words of affirmation and physical touch now.
Oh, wow. And what are hers?
Hers are acts of service and physical touch.
And what were
And
yours 2 years
Hey,
prior
so
to that?
Mine, the first time I took it, it was words of affirmation and gifts.
Mm,
hey,
okay.
Cole and Deb, didn't
Yeah.
we said on a previous episode that changes with the person you're with every time.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that makes
We
perfect
did.
sense then.
Javonna made that point that you should take that test every time you change
every
partners,
relationship.
basically. Every relationship. Yeah.
Well, mine's been the same for the last 6 years. So
And knowing it is very important because I've been in relationships in the past or just friendships as well where I valued time. I didn't value like gifts, but my friends, male friends, like people will call me their best friends, but I would consider someone else as my best friend. Or, Damien, we talked about this a lot. They valued gifts. So if I wasn't giving, I didn't
you're
have
not
any
a
value.
friend.
I'm not a
yeah.
friend. And we
Yep.
talked about that. But for me, time is so valuable that, you know, if a person spends, then
Sorry. Sorry.
Someone.
That's me.
Okay, I had to mute. I'm sorry, I had to mute him.
And then he comes right back.
Right. So if you all aren't communicating that right, you could be pouring into someone and they not feel any love because you're not communicating in their language. So that's good, James, that you all took that test together. You know hers, she knows yours, because if you're communicating your language and, you know, you're giving her what you think love looks like, then to her it's like, man, he's not even showing love to me, or not in the way that she would want to receive it. So those are some of the things that we discussed, and we hope everyone saw the importance of it. Terry, go ahead. I saw your mic come on.
Yeah, we were talking about last week. Last week, I think we were also talking about that word. Someone that maybe wrote in and wanted to know, why does a man want to feel, or why would he want thanks for handling his responsibilities?
All
That what
right.
the
That was,
question was?
I don't know if she's joining us today, but that was Miss Shannon. Miss Shannon called the guy sassy. And
Okay,
we asked
okay,
her to define what a sassy man is. And she said a man is sassy if he's looking for praise for just being a man and doing the things that men should do. And that
okay.
makes him
Well,
sassy.
I didn't get a chance to respond to that last week. So
Yeah.
if I could, I would like to respond to that real quick and sum this up for her.
Sure. Please.
Men, you can't call a man sassy for one. But the next thing is, men would like to know they are appreciated. They're not looking for a thank you, or they're no looking for a high praise because they did their job. They just want to know that you appreciate them and what they do, and the effort that they put in to accomplish those goals. So whoever that woman was, the young lady was, I hope she lets her man know how much she appreciates him for doing what he does. That
She
goes a
she
long
don't.
way.
She don't.
Okay.
Just because, and I don't have a clue who this person is, but just following trends. Any woman that comes out saying that men are sassy because they want some type of acknowledgement, that's just crazy. That's crazy talk.
I agree with that.
And then not a gift or acknowledgement on Mother's Day.
Right.
Women will
Right.
go crazy, but in the same breath, will call a man sassy because he wants acknowledgement too. We're all human. At the core, we're all the same. We just have different ways of thinking.
Right. Right. Don't tell a
So
woman you appreciate her. Oh,
yeah,
I just feel like I'm your housekeeper. I just feel like I'm just here just for this, or I'm just here for just for that.
and you call her sassy behind that,
And
and now
you
you
call
gotta
her
go.
sassy. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah, that's my opinion on that. That's not a man being sassy. That's just a man wanting to know he's appreciated.
I agree 100% because I couldn't even tell you what sassy was, not even last week, and I still don't know.
Well,
So,
we're not even talking about the definition right now. We're talking about, if a man is looking to say, to have someone say, oh, great job, honey, you did this, you accomplished that goal, whatever, da 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 da. He just wants to feel appreciated. We go out,
right.
we work hard, we put up with a lot of different things, especially black men. We put up with a lot of different things throughout the day, you know. And one thing that would make a man feel good is when he comes home to his woman says, honey, I know you had a rough day. I just want you to know I appreciate you and all that you do. That's it.
100%. 100%.
That's not him being sassy, like
It's not.
like my man said, he wants to, we're all men, we're all human, we all have feelings, we all want to be appreciated. That was my opinion on that.
I agree.
I agree too.
Damon, what's going on? Damon, welcome in. Welcome. Joining us now. And I apologize you all for, I had to start a little late. I'm in a new role right now. And as an administrator, I cannot leave the kids unattended. So I wanted to make sure I had enough time to get everybody out of the way, lock the building, get everything secured, and then get here to you all. We still have our drive time. So Thanks everybody for coming in. And we have a great deal of live listeners today. And for our listeners that are live, if you have any questions, if you have any comments or concerns, please type it in. I'm trying to read them out because we have live listeners that cannot see what's going on. And this show is being recorded. So when we play back, they won't be able to see what you're typing. But when you put it in, I'll try my best to read it out. We have Deborah here. We have Shar here, two of our co-hosts that can read it out to you all. Thank you again, and continue to like and share, everyone. Yeah, Pope says someone will appreciate him. Someone definitely will. I had a young lady today said she does not like an emotional man. So I was like, wow. I said, according to the women that we've had, and they were like, they like a man that's emotionally available and a man that's not afraid to express and show his emotions. Her exact response was, that's a man that'll kill you.
What the hell? No, man.
She said, a man that's out there crying over you and being all emotional and stuff like that, he can't live without you and he'll kill you. I
Wow.
don't know how she deduced that, but that is what she said. So I'm going to
Wow.
ask our ladies again, the ladies that are listening in, and our two panelists, Deborah, Shar, if you cannot speak, just type it in. How do you all feel about a man that is emotionally available? I don't mean to laugh. I'm not trying to sway your answers, but how do you feel about a man that's emotionally available?
I'm trying to stop laughing, so forgive me. Whew. I mean, I don't mind an emotionally available man. I don't at all. But an overly emotional man or a man who does not have, I won't say overly emotional, a man who does not have control of his emotions is the one that is dangerous. Not
Give me an
any,
example.
an emotionally available man.
Give me an example.
I'll say this, like, my sister, I literally watched her be in a situation where she was dating a guy. He was like every time we got ready to leave the house, it was like, where you going? You leaving me again? You like, it was always just like anything she did for herself was a slight to like his emotions. Like like, you don't love me because you're not staying here with me. It was like, y'all, it was rough. And he tried to like he was one of those, please forgive my language, but he was definitely one of those, if you leave the house right now, if you don't, do what I want you to do right now, I'm gonna kill myself. Like, he was one of those.
Mm.
So like to really like seeing that firsthand, like it's a crazy thing to see. And that's why I say a man who is not in control of his emotions is a dangerous man. But a man who is emotionally open, there's a big difference between the two. And I would love me an emotionally open man, but I definitely don't want a man who does not know how to control his emotions.
So you want a man, give me an example. Like he can tell
Of like
you,
controlling your emotions.
no, about not the control part, like a guy that's emotionally available. What are some things that you would like? We know you don't want to hear this stuff about, oh, I can't live without you. I'm going to kill you, blah, blah, blah. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear none of that.
So what are some things that you welcome?
Like, I welcome like a man that would be like, babe, sit down, like instead of like, let's go to the movies, let's, do it. Babe, let's sit down and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about some stuff. Let's, a man that doesn't mind getting a little vulnerable or going a little deep. Remember, I told y'all last week, I like deep. I like to go deep. So surface level stuff does not, it doesn't rock well with me. So if we're able, like, if he's able to really be emotionally open and available, and also that means not being in a relationship with anyone else, saying, not having all these different situations that are going to cloud what's happening here with us, then that, to me, that is an emotional. emotionally open men.
Hey, Deborah got this stuff figured out. Where you be at?
I be here. But
I'm
Deborah,
joking.
because Deborah knows her worth, Deborah stays single a lot of the time because it's, when you have a certain level of knowledge and wisdom, there's just a lot of things you're not going to deal with, you're not going to put up with, you're not going to entertain. And though I have my moments of just wanting to be spontaneous and have fun, I'm not a dummy.
Hey,
So,
get him dead. Get him dead.
there's that.
I'm going to read a few of these responses. So Felicia said, I do not like men that cry about everything or whine. And she said, I definitely don't want someone that is too emotional. She's had that experience before. Shar said, I prefer a man who isn't afraid to discuss his feelings. And Janice agrees. Shar, do you care to elaborate, please, since you're in the seat?
Wait, I just read your answer, your response, Coach Sean. So you want a 50-50 thug.
So Felicia, yeah, for Felicia, she's like, just don't be whining and all the time, like cry about everything or whine.
Hey, Coach Con.
Yes, sir.
Some women feel like when a man says me, it's whine and complain. No, if a person says they don't like X, Y, Z, that's not whine. That's telling you what they like or don't like. So, but some
Bingo.
people consider that as whining.
I
Yes.
need
But say it
them
with your
to.
chest. Say it with your chest so that it don't sound like you whining.
No.
Hey,
Some women,
I don't
some
want
women
no
take
spinach.
anything that you say that's not, anything that you say that disagrees with their train of thought, they take it as you,
Oh,
your
my God.
feelings or you whining or you, that happens a lot.
Yes.
But
Deb, y'all see that?
here's the flip side of that.
Char
When
agrees
men,
with me.
when
Oh my
when
God.
when a man is whining or constantly voicing his opinion about the same thing over and over, that man could be telling you he's getting tired of what you're doing as well. He could be on the verge of leaving that relationship.
Mm.
Very much so. There's
You
always a
got
warning, but
you got
there's always a
the
warning before the
warning.
storm.
You're right.
So guys, this is, we understand. And ladies, this is, I'm saying this joke was very literal. So only that women are dynamic. Just people in general are different. So we can hear women say they want A, and we all love A, and we start to do A, and there always going to be a group of women that say, "Oh, I hate A. I love B. B is the thing for me." And then we try to do B, and you're going to have a few outliers that say, "Hey, I only like Z. Forget all that other stuff." So that's why it's so important to communicate with the person that you're with and block everyone out, you know, when you're in a relationship. Like the opinions of others should not be important, in my opinion. The opinions of others should not be important. You should discuss with whoever your significant other is, what you all like, what's important to you, and keep it moving. So Janice, how do you feel about the emotional men? Do you have a seat? Please chime in and let us know. And welcome, Damon. I don't know if you have time today. Go ahead, Janice. Can you all hear?
No,
No.
not yet.
Okay, I don't know what she has going
She
on.
might be having that same issue what's the name was having the other week when it took her a couple of times
Tamika,
before she could actually,
come in and say something. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I see. She said she's trying to talk. For some reason, it's not coming in. Just try to stand and come back in and see if that helps. Shar said, do what works for you, which is so important. Sometimes we have a situation where we have, we're influenced by friends, family, whatever. And I think that it stops us from doing the things that we want to do in relationships. Or I wouldn't say stop. It influences in a positive or negative way. Outside influence what we do in our relationships. And the communication should be done between the people in the relationship. You know, what works for you. And Deborah, coming back to
Yes.
you, I want an example. Like, we want these emotionally available men, and Shar is not able to talk. She's driving. what she wants a man to share his feelings. Feelings about what? You need to elaborate. Like, give us an example. I mean, I know you can talk about something. Just turn the music down and give us some feedback because we have listeners that cannot see what you all are typing.
I will say what I surmise she may mean, but ultimately Char will have to give her own summation of this. But to want a man to share his feelings, that is, I mean, for me, it's as simple as if you come in and you've had a bad day, like I want you to, like if I say, babe, how's your day going? I don't want you to just be like, oh, it was fine. But like, then you're like, a little standoffy because, your energy is out of whack or whatever. If I say, babe, how's your day? I want you to be able to really open up and be like, I mean, I didn't have a good day, and such happened, whatever have you. And, I'm going to be that listening ear to let you know, okay, I hear you. And if it even warrants a response for me, then I'll give you a response to tell you, oh, it's all right. Let that go, whatever, however. But like, share your feelings, share how you're feeling. If I do something that makes you feel a type of way, share that with me. Don't just start acting funny with me or think that, like, get in your head about it and think, oh, I can't trust her, or oh, she acting funny, or she moving funny. Like, communicate with me, share your feelings, whether good or bad, because if we're grown and we're mature enough with each other, then I should be able to handle whatever you're coming to me with,
I'm going to tell you why,
and vice
and
versa.
I can only
Let
speak
me
on
say that.
me. I can only speak on me. You know how you ask people, man, how's everything going? Oh, I won't complain, right?
Right.
We've been taught that
But your
why
woman ain't
complain?
everybody.
I know, but this is how habits are formed
Mm,
because it's like, why complain, right? We've been told, why complain? Nobody cares. Nobody's going to do anything. So why are we complaining? What's the purpose? Everybody has their own issues. Everybody has their own stuff that they're dealing with and going through. And if you don't have a solution to my problem, why am I complaining? So sometimes we look at expressing our feelings as complaining, you know, and we just push through it. We push through.
right. But the same way you said that's how habits are formed, habits can also be broken, especially like if you have a woman there who is continuously trying to like show you like you don't have to like hold that all in. Like you can let that out. It's okay. I can take it. I can hold on to some of that for you, or I can help you unpack some of that. And it doesn't have to be in a way of giving you advice and telling you you need to do this and you need to do that. It's just in a way of sometimes just being a listening ear. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most men are doers versus talkers. Like, if there's a problem, we'll rather fix the problem ourselves or fix the problem versus talking about the problem.
Right. But two heads are better than one. So
True.
maybe the perspective,
Listen.
I
I
don't know.
totally agree. I totally
Right.
agree. To you missing the point, but anyway,
I'm
back to
not,
you.
because maybe the
No,
perspective
you
that I
missed what I'm
can
saying.
have.
No. But anyway, yeah, you're right. Two heads are better than one. But most men are doers. We're gonna try to figure it out ourselves first
And
until we
then
get
when
it.
when you still can't, then what?
The strong backbone of a woman
That
comes into play.
that's what we have
Exactly.
to. That's what
That's exactly where my point comes in.
Yeah, but
Where
allow us the
to do
opportunity
our
and
thing
time
first.
to exactly let us do it first. Like your kids riding a bike, you gotta let them fall a couple times. They gonna
and I
fall.
mean that's totally understandable. That's totally understandable. But if it gets to the point where you are trying to work through this and you're not getting there, right? Sometimes also men have a bad habit of like letting that anger and frustration of not being able to do or resolve whatever that issue is start showing and it showing up in the relationship in different ways. And it's not always in healthy ways. So even if you want me to take a step back and allow you that space and opportunity, that's fine. But when you realize maybe I need a different perspective, don't be afraid to come to me and ask for a different perspective, because maybe the perspective that I can give, well, it'll be like, oh dang, I didn't even look at it that way. Thanks, babe. Now I know how to go about this. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you just failing at something and bumping your head.
So
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Tony.
I'm done.
I learned a while ago to rely more on others, right? And when I started opening up my mouth and saying things that I wasn't used to saying, right? Or being vulnerable or saying I'm not good at certain things, instead of fighting against it, open your mouth and share, and then you may realize that you have someone or a team of people that can help you, right? So my wife, anything administrative, bills, we do a little business, anything administrative, she does. And when we first started, I tried to do almost everything. She was, working at the time, and I tried to do a lot of the things myself because, she didn't have a lot of time. But when I, would sit down and I'd be fighting with something in my head, and she'd ask me what's going on, of course at first, like the young man before me said, we want to try to fix it first. But as I began to share, things began to get easier for me because she was more talented in that aspect. I'm a more operational, like you said, go do it, go fix it physically. And she can sit in the front of a computer and figure some things out, work some programs, that kind of stuff. So long story short, we have to train ourselves to do certain things. And even still, sometimes I'll get a task or something to do, and I'll try to figure it out myself instead of just saying, you know what, this ain't even my lane. Let me go ahead and pass this on, and I'll take care of my portion that I'm strong at, but I'll give that to her. But I still have to force myself and train myself to do it. But you also got to build that trust too, right? You gotta know that person is going to take care of that, right? And you got to know that the vulnerability you shared won't be thrown back in your face. And
Right.
100%.
right.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
That
100%.
last
Man, I'm
part,
with
that last part. Remember, ladies, that is something that men, we got into a great debate last week, and we were told that what we think right here is not reflective of what all men think. But so far, every guy that has been a guest on this show for the past 5 months have said they do not share personal things because they don't want it thrown back in their face. The ladies went on about, well, what about when it's done to us, blah, blah, blah. Y'all used to that stuff. Women do that often. And I've worked in education for years and worked at alternative schools. And the number one reason why little girls get kicked out of school? She said, she say, this friend is not my friend anymore. I don't talk to her anymore. She told this, she said that. So they grow up, they're accustomed to that stuff. And you all acknowledge how men really, really hold a lot in. Men rarely share their feelings. So if you are a woman where a man decided to share his feelings with you and become emotionally available, and you betray that trust, like that's it. You've not only ruined it for your relationship, but you've basically ruined it for probably the next 5 women. So that's very
True.
important. And like Damon said, that trust has to be built. My reservations with sharing the feelings at all times. If I come to you with a problem and there's absolutely nothing you can do with it, what did I do by sharing my problem with you?
You had a listening ear to unload, because
You
if
didn't
there's
help the
nothing I
problem
can
though.
do about it, then there is
But
absolutely
you didn't
nothing
help the
I'm going to
problem.
offer.
Right, but you didn't figure help with the problem.
But yes, but maybe it wasn't a problem I needed to help with. Maybe you just needed a sounding board to be able to express those emotions to,
Or we view
which
it
is
like
okay,
this girl just want to
which
be
is
nosy.
okay. No, it's not. It's not that we want to be nosy. I didn't ask you to come and tell me about the problem. You chose to come and tell me about the problem.
No,
But if
we
I
chose not
know
to. We chose
Can I
not
make this
to.
quick comment?
Yes.
So
what
I,
I'm saying
I
here
understand
is,
where you're coming from, but from a male perspective, you have to remember women sometimes vent and they just want to be heard. And the disconnect comes in because males, a real man, I should say, is a fixer. So you come to him with a problem. Sometimes you just want to vent, get that off your chest and be done with it. And meanwhile, this guy is giving you advice of, well, you should do this or you should do that. And you're like, I don't want to hear that. That's the difference between men and women. We want to hear that. Like, how do I fix this?
okay, well then instead of just being your sounding board, I tell you, well, baby, I don't know how you gonna fix this.
Hey,
So
James.
there,
Hey,
I
James.
thank you for confiding in me, but I don't know how you gonna fix this because I don't have any ideas.
And
Hey,
we will
James.
share the secret.
Yeah.
Yes.
To piggyback on what you just said. So my ex-wife called me about a month or two ago, about 2 months ago, right? She said, well, I can talk to you. I'm going to tell you this or whatever. I just need somebody to talk to. All right, cool. So she told me issue with my stepson or whatever, right? So I was like, okay. She hung up on me, got mad, cussed me out, sent me a text. I'm like, damn, you said you wanted to vent. I thought you wanted me to listen. So I listened and you got mad because I didn't respond. I'm like, come on, man. That's just a problem I can't do anything about. Problem you can't do anything about. You just want to be. The text said, I just want to vent to somebody. Okay.
Well,
So
she needs to learn how to communicate better because if I say, I just want to vent to somebody and I vent to you, that's all I need you to do is be my sounding board.
I
That's
agree.
it. Now, if I say, girl, I need your advice, that's different. Now
Yep.
I want you to respond. I want you to tell me if you can give me a different outlook on this situation. But if I just say, I just need the vent, then I just need the vent.
Huh.
But I'm gonna mean what I say and I'm gonna say what I mean.
that's very important. So communication.
Communication.
Yeah.
It
Now
all comes down to simple communication.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to say the things that are being typed because we have listeners that can't not see this. I went through a training about reaching kids' hearts, right? And the importance of first impressions. And according to this research, I have to verify, but according to what was told to us is it takes 20 impressions to erase a first impression. 20. So once a person has a bad impression, and it's not fair to women because it's like, yo, that was your last girlfriend. It might have been his last five that did the same thing. So what makes him think that you're going to be different and you're going to be this one that doesn't throw things up in his face, when the relationship is over or if you have a problem? But it takes 20 impressions. So if a man has been in a situation where someone betrayed his trust or vulnerability or him being emotionally available, he has to then have 20 positive experiences before he trusts again. But how will that happen if he's not trusting anyone enough to share that? So now he's trapped. You see what I'm saying? And
That
and
ain't gonna
again,
happen.
Well,
yeah, it's not going to
he's
happen.
technically not
Not
trapped.
20, not 20 in a row.
He's not trapped. He's putting himself in a box because of what he has experienced in the past instead of allowing himself to work through that and then still remaining open to what you can and like what you can still attract. There's a big difference in that. He's going to miss out on those blessings of the women who he's coming in contact with who would never be anything like that because he doesn't even know how to remain open even through the hurt and the pain. But that's y'all might not be ready for that type of conversation yet though.
No, but to a logical person, that's senseless. That's illogical because what do you have to gain by doing it? You have much more to lose than you have to gain. So what did men do? Men just tough it up. Something bothering them, they grab a drink on the way home or hit the gym, lift some weights, do some stress relief, and they're done with it. I'll fix this problem. I find a way to get it over, get beyond this.
Go see that other woman.
No, I ain't saying that.
I don't know. I think I don't know. It's
it's how can I say it? And I understand the importance of, and this is something that Janice said, okay, women have to put in the work to gain that trust back, right? And Janice made a great point that we are a team, and a man coming to a woman shows trust. So basically, you want that to say, hey, you're the one I trust. Whether you have a solution to this problem or not, and not to sound mean in this, but a lot of times women have advice and suggestions from men that only benefit the woman.
true.
So it only benefits the woman. And they talk about a man needs to grow and doing this and doing that. But in the end, it always benefits them. It benefits the woman and not the man, because just him alone, remove a woman from this equation. How does it benefit the man by sharing his problem? How does it benefit him? Do not mention the woman at all in your answer. How does it benefit the man? Any one of you, Deborah, Shaw,
Are
Janice.
you
How
asking the
does it
women though?
I'm asking the women, how does it benefit the man by sharing his problems?
I'm kind of with Shar in this one. You have to tell us how it benefits you. What do you get? Like, what do you feel? How do you
We're
feel after
saying we
being
don't do
able to
it.
do so?
We're saying we don't do it. The women are saying they want us to do it. So my question to you all is, how does it benefit a man?
I mean, like I said, it could benefit you in a lot of ways. It's
Tell
a
me one.
different perspective that I can give you. It
Tell
is,
me one way it benefits the man.
and granted, it's not that I'm doing it for my own personal gain. Let's just say that.
That's why I said remove the woman from this equation. Again, Shar said, do you share it with your homeboys? Again, we're not answering the question. How does it benefit the man? How?
I mean, I feel like it benefits you to be able to know that you have someone to
10,
confide in.
9, 8, 7, 6,
I'm telling you
5,
now.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. That was the timer.
So
How does it benefit the man?
I feel like it benefits the man and being able to know that he has somebody that he can confide in. You know what I'm saying? Again, that he can trust, who can give him feedback if that's what he's looking for, who can try to help find a solution to the problem if that's what I'm able to do.
And
Like,
if you
those are
cannot,
benefits.
so
To
if you
know that you're
cannot
not
help
in this
him,
alone is a
if you,
benefit.
so if you cannot help him, is it okay for him to keep it to himself?
If it's something he knows I absolutely can't help him with, I mean, I'm never gonna know that you kept it to yourself if you don't say nothing. So sure. If you feel like I can't help you, you ain't gotta bring it to me. There's a lot of things you don't have to bring it to me. I just want you to know it's a safe space for you to bring it to me if you want to,
So Janice,
but you don't
she's
have
having
to.
audio difficulties. Janice wrote, benefits you because I'm able to learn you. I'm able to know your likes and dislikes, strengths and weaknesses. I'm able to have a better understanding of what my man is going through. And what's the first thing I ask to
Don't mention the woman.
remove, and what does her answer say? I,
Me,
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 I.
me, me, I. Yep.
So again, and this happens, but it happens subconsciously. And so many times we do it without reflecting. And women, oh, I'm helping him grow, I'm helping him be a better person, a better man. You're sending him back to school to make more money. Who's going to benefit from that? You're trying to help
But
him get
technically,
a different job, get a promotion at the job. Who's that benefiting? You're thinking about money. He's thinking about the stress level. He's at the job. He may have seen some people in that role. Man, it ain't even worth that extra $3 an hour. You know? Yeah, her husband, her friend has a boyfriend that works there and makes $30 an hour. Your man makes 27. Why don't you get in this such and such? He sees the stress. he sees the extra responsibilities is not beneficial to him, but she's in the back pushing him, trying to make him better, trying to help him. But in actuality, a lot of times we do it to benefit themselves. Shar is asking, how does it benefit you when you share it with your friends? No one said that they do. Men don't. It's like we keep it in. If we cannot find a way to fix it, we keep it in
But how does that benefit you?
because we get it done. It's like I'm trying to find a
No, but
solution.
if you can't get it done and you just holding all that in, how does that benefit you?
No, we're not saying we're holding
But
something in that we can't fix. It's like, okay, I got an issue. Go ahead, James.
sometimes we don't know if we can trust you yet. And so the benefit of keeping it in is knowing that you can't weaponize it later.
Right.
When it's something that you don't like, because women love, and I'm not saying every woman, but some of them that I've dealt with love to see a situation and just kind of put that mental note in the back of the head. And as soon as things go left between us, they throw that in your face. So if I don't give you that weapon of my vulnerability, you don't have a bullet now later on. So that's the benefit for some of us.
And you are right about that. And the same way I don't have that bullet to throw back at you, I also am not able to really get close to you. You're not really open. You're not truly opening up to me because of just like Shar said, because of your fear of what you think might do. But if you don't ever test the water to see or to know, then how will you know?
It's not worth it.
It work. I'd rather not know.
I'd rather not know. It's not worth it. And
And
Deborah, here's another thing.
I get it. That's your
Okay.
answer. So I get it.
Yeah. Here's another thing that you want to consider. And this is anecdotal. A lot of things that bother me could be family oriented, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not privy to that because you might not know my sister. You probably don't know my cousin, or, you don't know my uncle who just lost a son, or that has cancer, or a sister that needs help with whatever, or a niece that needs something, right? So telling you what ails me is now putting you in their business. That's violating the trust that they had in me. So just understand that, hey, this is something that I'm dealing with. You can't help if you aren't going to help my niece get a sewer put in. If you can't help my uncle get his son out of prison. Now, why am I sharing that information with you? It's just like James said, it's just another bullet in this. If something goes left, now you spraying me with all this stuff. Yeah, and you such and such and such. Your niece done had 5 abortions and blah, 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 blah. And these are things that women do. So why even go through that? You cannot help me.
Some women.
Some women do, but some women do. So you cannot help the situation. One, you don't have a solution to it. And I'm sharing someone else's personal or private information that you should not be privy to. So you're telling me to trust that you aren't going to say, but here I am violating that trust myself. Someone else entrusted me with a situation, or I'm made aware of a situation, particularly family business, and now you want me to share it with you, hoping that you keep it a secret or not weaponize that information later on. It's just not worth it. When I asked, how does it benefit me? Not one of you were able to say how it benefits the man without including a woman, but the men have been sharing repeated examples of how it could become detrimental. So if this thing has no given positives from you all for this man, and we've shared nothing but negatives, logically, why should we do it? Because the woman wants to know. She wants to say, oh, he trusts me with his information. Why? If we have 5 negatives and no positives, then why do it?
You hit the nail on the head just now, bro. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm kind of cooking at the same time, but
No, you're good.
I
Oh,
just
I thought
wanted
that
to
was some
dive.
clapping.
No, no, no.
I thought that's what that was too. I,
Shar says, well, what do you talk about with your partner, guys? What do y'all talk about with your partner, guys?
Out the gate, until I have a reason not to, I share. Sometimes I overshare. But the minute you show me that this relationship isn't a safe space, I clam the hell up.
Right.
that is my point. I like at least be open to give me the opportunity to see if I'm even going to do that. Because just, I'm not going to do anything to anybody else that I don't want done to me. If you think men don't throw things up in women's faces, you're crazy. They do. So, the same way that you guys have to be protective over how much you share and what information you're willing to give, we have to do the same thing. So if you think about it in the sense of, well, I don't want this person to do anything to me that I know I wouldn't do to them. So I'm not going to throw anything back in your face because it's not something I want done to me. I'm not gonna, take your business and go spread it about because it's not something that I want you to do to me. And that's just my integrity speaking. That's just, what I'm saying? But that's a line that I feel like should be thought about because if you don't go into something, if you go into a situation thinking, oh, she's just going to do this, maybe that's really where your intentions are. Like maybe your intentions are not in the right place if that's how you got to go into every situation being so untrusting and, you know,
Yeah, jaded.
yeah, jaded. Like everybody's not out to hurt you. Some people are really blessings, but if you're not open in the least bit, I'm not saying you gotta open up and tell me your life story, but you gotta be open at least enough to be able to test the waters with me.
Well,
Shanice
I can,
says, Shanice says it goes back to communication and trust. Well, we're still working towards the trust part. That's where the guys are at. We're still working towards the trust part. Once we get past the trust part, we know we can trust you with the secret. So what we're dealing with, we'll share it. But
I,
until then, we hold on to it.
I will say this. Charles and not for taking Coach on. There's no benefit for them to share. There is none. So here's the thing. Betrayal is a terrible, terrible feeling to
Terrible.
me. Terrible feeling because I know the level of loyalty that I have and the sacrifices that I'll make for people, that's unreal, like unreal. When people talk about the shirt off their back, I've literally done it. I've done that. But two of the worst feelings ever is having some private information, personal private information shared with others, right? I would never ever share anything with those people again. Another terrible feeling is when someone shared something with me and I repeated it and I saw the hurt on that person's face. I vowed to never ever do that again. Tell them, hey, don't tell me, I don't want to know the secret because I've betrayed someone before and I saw the look on their face and the hurt when they knew that, hey, I said it to someone else. I wasn't even thinking. I didn't know it was that major, that serious. So that's something. So it doesn't bother me if someone does not confide in me about personal, private matters or family matters or things that could be stressing them. I'll ask, hey, baby, what's wrong? You okay? What can I do? I don't like seeing you this way, etc. How can I help? And you said, hey, I got it. Hey, I'm gonna get back on my phone and play Candy Crush or chess. And I take your word that you got it. If you need my help, come to me, but I'll never get upset if someone does not share with me. We have enough other things to talk about. We can talk about politics. We can talk about current affairs. We can talk about anything.
Right, because
Um,
maybe in that moment she doesn't want to talk about that. Maybe that's the last thing she wants to talk about or you want to talk about. So talking about anything else would be the move.
right. So I'll like, hey, we can find something else to talk about. this person, they have mute relationships, and Shar says, boo, she's booing it. Doesn't have to be a mute relationship. So Shar, you saying your relationships has to involve sharing secrets, pillow talk? But we all need space and time. Yes, Janice, I agree. But that's also understanding and learning each other. And we all have triggers. So yes, we do need space. We need time. We need our private place. And like I said, not just my personal business. If something's happening at work that's stressing me, I can share that. But if there's something going on with my family, I don't feel like that should be shared, or if it's a requirement for that to be shared. Uh-oh.
But again, that goes back to what I said about just, you know what I'm saying, being able to know and understand, like, if you need me to be that sounding board, you got me, right? But in order to even get there, you have to be open enough to share something. It ain't gotta be your family stuff. It doesn't have to be, but you gotta be open enough to share something that you feel like you can trust me with in order to see if I'm trustworthy of holding that information.
No, sharing it is not enough to see if you're trustworthy. He's going to have to share it, then break up with you to see if you're going to weaponize it. So
So look,
that's the
so you
real
said something
deal.
about betrayal, right? That I just
Yeah,
wanted to touch on. I just
yeah,
wanted to touch on what you said about betrayal really quickly, right? Because you
yeah.
said one of the worst feelings in the world is like being betrayed, right?
Yes.
And I get that. I get that 100%. Been there, done it. You know what I'm saying? Wrote the book on it.
Hold on 1 second, Deborah. Just because you got to did type it in, Leticia, Janice. We're talking about the
Listen, that's
information being shared. Yeah, Shar says that's stupid, but I want to explain. Leticia, hey, what we're saying is, and James alluded to earlier, when you share these things, now, are you women telling me that you've never seen women weaponize information that men have shared with them?
we've seen
I'm
it, but
asking, ladies.
Hold on,
Okay, so
time out.
yeah,
Coach on, time
yes.
out. Shaw said she couldn't get on because she's driving. She can text, but she can't talk. I'm confused.
I thought it. I didn't want to say it, Tay. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
we gonna let her be great today. So Janice said, law of the upbringing. So the droids are fine. All the droids work fine. I'm using the droid today as well. So
Me
Janice,
too.
So am I.
all behavior develops your character traits. Yes. Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Yes.
So
Hey,
now,
how you doing?
but let me explain. No, I'm talking about for Leticia. What I was saying, I stopped giving the example. So Leticia, we're talking about, Deborah was like, you have to try her with some information to see if you can trust her. Just having the information is not what we fear. It's what you're going to do with it during time of imbalance or breakup. So in order to know if we can really trust you, we have to go through something. So now you want me to give you some information. Now we have a situation where there's a breakup or something to see if you're going to weaponize this information, to see if you're going
But
to
we
use it
ain't gotta
against.
go as far as a breakup. If we can have a moment and you could like be like, okay, well, she didn't throw this back up in my face. So, okay, we had our moment. She said what she needed to say, but she didn't throw this back at me. She didn't need to do that. Okay, I can at least trust that, that might be safe. You know what I'm saying? That part might be a little safe.
Well, I'll share enough information that doesn't involve anyone else's private matter.
That's a secret.
That's what I
Yeah.
said. It doesn't have to be anyone else's private matter. But back to what I wanted to say about you and the betrayal thing, really
Yeah.
quickly. Like you said, you mentioned that betrayal is one of your biggest fears, or it takes you up and through there, whatever, however. But the way that I look at that is, you still alive, right? It didn't kill you, right? You got
Yeah, don't.
betrayed. You gonna find a way to get past that betrayal, and you gonna keep on pushing. Betrayal is a part of life. It's gonna happen.
But then it changes the way you do things. Like why do we think stores have security features? They've been betrayed. They've experienced theft. Do they say, oh, I got to continue and trust again? No, They put things in place so those things don't happen again.
Right, but we're human. We're human. They're human. Your thought process is like you're not giving anyone a chance.
No, we're just saying we putting up some parameters. We can give you some. If you want me to talk, I can talk. I'll talk about something else. It doesn't have to be a secret. It doesn't have to be anyone else's business.
Part of my question. My question, I said, what do y'all talk about with your homeboys, or what do you talk about in your relationship? If you're not open to share feeling, what are you talking about? Politics, cars, what do you?
LeBron versus Jordan.
Well, I don't watch basketball, so now what we talking about?
No, you asked what do we talk to guys about with our friends?
No, I said, what do you talk about to your significant other about? That was one of the questions I put in there a few minutes ago. I said, so if you're not interested in sharing because you're afraid of betrayal, what do you talk to your significant other about?
You can talk about just current events, talk about your plans, your future, things that you have going on. Hey, I'm getting back in school. I want to research this. I'm talking about that. These are my plans for this weekend. My kid's birthday. My dad has this going on. Like life, you can talk and not have to share someone's secrets.
But again, that's surface level.
So what do you want to go and talk about?
That's just surface level. That's just
He's
surface
sharing his
level
plans.
stuff.
So what you want to talk about? My dog got hit when I was in the 3rd grade. Like, what do you want to hear?
Your questions to the ladies were, how does sharing benefit the man without including the woman?
Yes. Yes.
So, we're waiting for you to tell us that. You said it doesn't. That's what you told us, right? So,
Yeah, I can't tell you how it does if that's not my opinion. My opinion is that it does not. So it's not up to me to tell you how it benefits a man because I'm telling you it doesn't benefit us. But I don't want to just give a definitive answer. So I'm asking you from a different perspective, or maybe you can enlighten us. How do you feel this benefits a man without including the woman in this equation? Woman's in this equation.
you've already asked that question, and I told you that you have to tell us how it benefits you without using the woman. Because when Janice gave her example, you said, nope, look what her thing said. It said, I. So now what? You tell us how, if you share something with the woman, just use your past experience. You tell us how you just having a conversation with the woman, how does that benefit you?
It doesn't. That's why we're saying we don't do those things because it doesn't benefit us. We talk about so many other things. It doesn't have to be a secret.
So it's secrets. We're talking about sharing is not necessarily a secret. So you're saying your feelings are secret? I thought we were talking about being emotional.
We can talk about our children. We can talk about things that's going on in the families. Uncle's birthday's coming up. Planning to have this event. My child has a championship game. Like just life in general. Had great experiences at work. Guys, what are some things that you all talk about? Enough for me.
But what Shar, I get what Shar is saying. Shar is saying because she is a little low. So Shar is basically saying like, if you like, you confiding in me with your feelings is not you telling someone else's secret. So if you're not telling anyone's secrets and you're just telling she asked, are your feelings a secret? Because if you know what I'm saying, if your feelings are a secret, then no, you shouldn't be telling me. And really, why are your feelings a secret? Why can't you tell me how you're feeling or what you're feeling? But telling me your other secrets that someone else told you is different than you just telling me your feelings, not someone else's business, but your feelings.
Okay, we talked, and I said, for example, if I'm upset because something's going on with my feelings, you come in, oh man, you seem down. You don't seem like you're yourself, right? I could be upset because something's going on with my brother. That's private. Something's going on with my sister. That's private. Now, if I just say, man, I got some stuff going on, I don't really feel like talking about that. Is that good enough?
That's good enough. I mean, it's good enough for me if you say I got some stuff going on and I don't want to talk about, but then just don't start doing the craziness because you holding all this stuff in and you ain't got no outlet.
What do you call it craziness?
Like, don't be having an attitude with her is what she's saying. Like, don't be
Like if she's trying to talk to you, just like, I don't want to speak. I don't want to say anything. So basically, when I'm talking about feelings, like if something is basically wrong with you, if you're happy, share it with me. If you're sad, share it with me. If you're angry, share it with me. You don't have to share the details of what may have made you, angry. Just say, yeah, I'm angry today, baby. I don't want to talk about it. That's fine with me.
Okay.
But when you say that we don't share anything, I'm like, well, what do you talk about then? If you can't share your feelings, since it's this big secret, then what do you talk to your spouse about? I thought,
Guys, what are some things that you all talk to your significant other about? Unique, Tank, Damon, what are some things you speak to your significant other about?
I think an easier question would be, what don't you?
Mm.
We talk about money, finances, building, businesses.
Tank, Damon,
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing I don't talk to her about.
Does that include your feelings, Damon?
Yeah, I talk to her about my feelings. I can't handle all this stuff by myself no more.
Exactly. So you confide in her with your feelings, not everyone else's business, but your feelings,
That
along with
she had to
everything
earn
else
that
that
though.
you guys speak about.
Right. She earned that trust, and now I can do it.
Exactly. She earned it, but you were open enough to start sharing in order for her to earn it, correct?
Yeah, little by little, and and like I say, it's work. It's work, and it takes work, and yeah, it takes work. And sometimes even still, I gotta realize or say to myself, I need to go talk to her about something, instead of trying to keep it in. But
I got a
I
question
also
for
have
you,
other
Damon.
people, that I can talk to as well now about certain things based on what it is. And, I know people specialize in certain things or have, gifts in certain things. But, I still talk to her about it as well. Go ahead, boss.
Damon, so when was it that you really started opening up to your wife about your feelings? Was it when she was your wife, or was it when you were dating?
Right. So, like everything, maybe the last year, but we've
That's
been,
her
we've been
being your
together for
wife,
5. Right.
right?
We've been together for 5. Yeah.
And with that being said, patience is also part of the process. So if she was
Yeah,
able to
it
be
is.
patient enough with you to allow you to get to the point where you felt comfortable enough, even if it
Right.
took 5 years, she had the patience, right, to stick
Right.
in there and
And I was
be
talking
able to
to her.
know that, you know what I'm saying? Not even be for sure that she's gonna get it, but just have the faith that, I can see what who he is. It's just up to him to be willing to show me.
And I was talking to her a couple months ago about a friend of ours that we have that met a guy, and the guy would tell her things, and she would kind of push him to make decisions that benefited her. And sometimes you just can't rush certain things, right? And I told my wife, when I had things that I needed to do, I could communicate it to her, but she wasn't like rushing me into it. She would tell me, what needs to happen or what I need to do or what I should do, but she wasn't rushing me into it or looking at me like, you done this yet? You done that yet? And I see a lot of women are pushy and that'll, kind of turn a man away.
so Coach Sean said that earlier the men were saying, why talk to their partner if they don't have what did Shar say? Why talk to their partner if they don't have a solution to the problem? We didn't say not talk to, but there's certain problems. Why am I sharing it? I mean, I just want to know why. That's all I'm asking. Why am I sharing it? You
So
know,
sometimes I talk about things.
Would you share it with somebody else though? Like if there's a problem, if you're sharing it with anyone, why wouldn't you be able to share that with your partner? Is what I'm saying.
oh, if there's something I can share outside, I would share with the partner. When I say
Mhm.
betrayal, that goes for everybody. I don't like betrayal, period. So there's certain things I'm not going to share with anyone, period. And, that's like something I could share with my daddy. He's 80 years old and he knows certain things that I discuss with him. That's it. It's not going anywhere. And I know that my parents would never, ever weaponize secrets that I've shared with them or things that I've gone through or anyone in the family's been through. Because, my siblings, when it hurts me, it hurts them as well. So I can share with my parents. So we have a different bond and a different vault that we can store things in with my parents. And I would expect others to do the same.
There's no solution. What if there's no solution? What if you sharing with them? You said earlier, I think I recall you saying, why share something if they don't have a solution to the problem? So why should I just share it? I think that's
Yeah, those things I don't share at all. It's like, why am I sharing? I just, hey, I got to figure out a solution. I'll deal with it. If it's something that I know that only I can fix, I don't share that with others. Not being mean, but it just doesn't make sense to me to do.
because I thought you were making the way you stated it sounded like you just wouldn't do it at all, regardless.
No. We're talking about like, if, okay, this person can't help me. This is something that I have to do. Like today, for example, I have an important training on Monday morning, right? I left the building and left my computer locked in the building. So if I'm with someone and I come home, oh crap, God dang, I left my goddamn computer and I got to go to this training somewhere else Monday morning and I left my computer on my desk, right? How can you help me with that?
Well, babe, can you log in on my computer? Can you log into your system?
No, I can't. These are the district computers and we didn't have passwords. When I go to this training, you have to have your district computer because it automatically gets on the network.
Okay. Is there no one else that can open the school for you before Monday?